Voice of Indonesia. VOI.
Listeners of Voice of Indonesia, wherever you are, on the occasion of the National Day of Finland, which fell on December the 6th, we have special interview with the Ambassador of Finland to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Jari Sinkari. Hello, Mr. Jari Sinkari, how are you?
Hello and selamat pagi. I'm fine.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you are celebrating the 101 year of independence. And could you tell me the meaning of the Independence Day for the people of Finland?
The Independence Day of Finland is very important. It has been traditionally associated with the survival of Finland of the Second World War. It was quite hard for Finland, and we had a lot of feelings that were celebrated. So it has been traditionally quite solemn, the feeling of the day. Our 100th anniversary, that was last year, was a big, I would say, like a platform of a multitude of festivities, and that instilled a new aspect of a more joyful celebration of the National Day or the Independence Day of Finland. And I would say that this 101st anniversary for Finland is the beginning of the second century of the independence, and I think that Finns are more liberated to have fun on that day, and it's also a generational thing that our younger generations, they are more international and more born global than the earlier generation. So I would say in a nutshell that the 101st anniversary is a sign that our independence is solid, and we are positively looking for future. And it's a more you can't say that it's a day of the carnival. We are still long from that feeling, but it's more joyful day than before.
So how did you celebrate it here in Indonesia?
Here in Indonesia, we combined with 3 other Nordic countries. That we celebrated it already the 18th of October, and we had a big reception. We pooled our resources and had about 1,000 guests from all kind of stakeholders of Indonesia, and we combined our special food, and then there was it was a nice party. Yes.
Okay, and what is Finland's achievement this year that deserves the world's attention?
I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is a special library. It's a new central library of Helsinki, our capital. It's architectonically, it's very impressive, and then it symbolizes that we are a very literary nation, and people, they like to read in Finland a lot, and they cherish our library system, that it's free for all and accessible to all. And then nowadays it's not only books that you can borrow. You can borrow all kinds of things, and you can even do the 3D printing for free at the library. So it's kind of like a symbol of our literary past, but also inventive way to see how the libraries are going to look like in the future.
If I'm not mistaken, Finland is has the best education system in the world.
Yeah, yes, it's very advanced in that sense, and of course you can say that's worth celebrating as well. And then if one thing that is valid also next year is an event called Slush. It's a very interesting get together of startup companies, investors, and media, and it's the biggest in Europe for that.
Okay, The president of Finland, Sauli Niinisto, came to Indonesia in 2015, and he was received by President Joko Widodo. And there are 3 agreed points of cooperation, namely in economy, in European Union, and also in the world peace. How do you see the implementation of the cooperation on the main issues at the technical level?
I would say that our cooperation is the strongest on three fields, namely energy cooperation, forestry cooperation, and then education. So and there were 3 MOUs that were signed during the presidential visit, and they touched the forestry, energy, and then education. And for example, in the forestry cooperation, that very recently there was a big group of Indonesian specialists who went to Finland, and there was a workshop that was tied with this MOU. And this forestry cooperation has been going on between Finland and Indonesia for several decades already. Then the energy, we have some big energy companies that are very much interested in Indonesia, and they are part of the energy supply sector of Indonesia. So that is going very well. Then education also, that there are quite a few Finnish educational institutions and also private companies that are interested to offer their know-how in Indonesia. I was quite recently in Purwakarta, and there was one project. There was further education for teachers, and it was very nice to see how this cooperation was working in practice. Then talking about the world peace, Finland and Indonesia both are very much active in the peacekeeping and peace mediation. And there's one theme that is very well resonating in both countries, is to increase the role of women in peacekeeping. And that is something that we are working together.
Okay, and if we look at the statistics of trade value between Indonesia and Finland, it seems that the fluctuations are quite vulnerable. What causes this vulnerability?
The structure of, for example, our export to Indonesia is we are talking about the big investment goods like turbines and parts of big power plants. And it's normal that it's quite cyclical, that some years there are more deliveries than in other years. But if we look at, for example, the figures of 2017 and 2018, the freshest figures are from January to August. It's doing quite well. For example, 2017, the Indonesian exports to Finland was plus more than 30%. And then Finnish export to Indonesia was more than 60%. So we are talking about the very healthy double-digit increase. And this year, according to my understanding, at least the Finnish exports has increased quite a lot. And then there's one thing that it's kind of like hidden in the trade statistics, that one of Finnish companies called Neste, it's a big buyer of palm oil from Indonesia, but their production facilities are not in Finland, but one in Singapore and one in the Netherlands. So the trade statistics between Finland and Indonesia doesn't reveal this fact, but actually Finland has a much bigger role in the Indonesian economy than you usually think.
Okay, is there any efforts that so that the trend of rising trade values can be relatively stable?
Yes, I think that there are a lot of possibilities. I think that it's a good match, the economies of Finland and Indonesia, because Indonesian economy is rapidly developing, and we produce in Finland these kind of like machines that help production. So we are not selling that many consumer goods to Indonesia, but machines that are helping Indonesian companies to produce more and develop their services. So I think that in that sense we are on quite solid ground also for the future.
Is there any challenges that you face in terms of cooperation and trade?
I think not. You can say that it's a challenge. That the distance is a challenge. That I think that what, for example, I'm planning to do more is to highlight the possibilities of Indonesia for the Finnish companies, for those companies that have not yet put Indonesia on their radar screen. So I think that it is the challenge is to have more information about the possibilities of Indonesia. I don't see that many structural difficulties.
Okay. And there are a number of economic policy packages issued by the Indonesian government, including those intended to attract more foreign investors to come to Indonesia. How does this affect Finnish investment into Indonesia?
I think that the economic packages, it's a positive phenomenon that Indonesia is very much. It shows that Indonesia is willing to increase the predictability, for example, for investors in Indonesia, and we think that on general level it increases the possibilities for investors to study Indonesian market. So overall, we think that it's a good thing and good sign.
And at the end of this year, how do you see the progress of cooperation between Indonesia and Finland? How do you project opportunities for increased cooperation between the two countries next year?
I'm now working on my own so-called strategic plan, what I'm planning to do here in 4 years, and I have highlighted the smart city know-how of Finland as one of the good ways to present the Finnish offering to the Indonesian market, and make cooperation between Indonesia and Finland. This smart city know-how can be like smart traffic, smart education, better ways to protect information, and all kinds of urban things. And I think that, for example, Jakarta is so urban, so vast by Finnish standards. It would be good for the Finnish companies to come here and test their offering here. So, and I think that it would be a good way to introduce their know-how, not only in Indonesia but to other developing economies as well.
And how do you see Indonesia-Finland cooperation in the framework of international cooperation?
Indonesia is going to be a member of the United Nations Security Council, and we think in Finland it's a very good thing, because Indonesia is a solid supporter of the rules-based world order, and your leaders have said that they cherish the open economy and the multilateral world, and I think that this is the message that is the music for the ears of Finnish people, because our country, it's a small open economy and very much dependent on the openness of the world trade, and then also of the rules-based world order on political terms as well. So we think that this international context is going to be very good, and it will help to make the world a better place 2019 and 2020.
We hope so. Okay, thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the special interview. And once again, we congratulate you on the 101st year of independence for Finland. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, listener, that was our special interview with Ambassador of Finland to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Jari Sinkari, on the occasion of National Day of Finland, which fell on December the 6th, 2018. I'm Hasanah. Thank you very much.
Voice of Indonesia. VOI.